Welcome to today's session. I'm very happy to lead this presentation. My name is Isaac Afenu, your business coach for today. This is a financial literacy training dubbed Smart Money Moves, which focuses on digital bookkeeping for SMEs. And it is brought to you by Adishaman Savings and Loans and OZE. Let me give us a background of this training session. This is a collaboration from Additional Savings and Loans and OZE as part of the joint SDG fund sponsored by the United Nations Capital Development Fund. And the goal is leveraging digital ecosystems for increased MSMEs productivity. This means that it is our mandate as part of this project to give you training or lessons or tips that will help you gain knowledge in terms of managing your finance and with most important focus on bookkeeping. And so today we are going to talk about bookkeeping, what SMEs must track, how to stay committed to bookkeeping, switching from manual to digital bookkeeping, unlocking financial access with bookkeeping data. We'll conclude, and then after that, you take a short quiz and then you claim your certificate. The first thing we are discussing is our path to profitability. The goal of every business is to make profit. And so if you want to make profit, it means that you have to track your progress. And so you have to track how much you're spending or investing into your business. How much money are you driving from the services you provide and all the products you sell? So as we are in business, the goal or our primary focus should be making profits. There are some bookkeeping basics that we are going to talk about in the next slide. What is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is the act of tracking your expenses and your sales. That is how much you are spending and how much you are making. So it means anytime you are spending on making money, you would have to document it. As soon as you document it, that is when bookkeeping takes place. Most of the times in our world, our businesses only keep records when we sell items or we provide services and receive money. But let us take note that anytime we spend or receive money, which is related to a product we sold or a service we provided, we have to document it. And this is what is called bookkeeping. What must we track? So there are three things we have to track. One, expenses. How much money are we spending? Our sales. How much money are we receiving? And then our cash balance. How much money do we have left after spending and selling? And so if you're not doing any form of bookkeeping, it will be very difficult for you to track or even get this data. For example, if we take the weighing scale, if I stand on the weighing scale, I know my weight. The number I see on the scale informs me to take an action. If I'm overweight, it means I have to what? Follow certain procedures. If I'm underweight, I have to follow certain dietary procedures. If my weight is okay, then it means that I have to continue my lifestyle. So this is how we have to treat our business. We are always tracking to know how much you are spending, how much you're receiving, and then after spending and selling, how much you have left. This data helps you to take data-driven decisions. So if you look on my screens right now, What you will see is a profit and loss report telling the business owner how much they made as profits, their profit margin, sales, expenses, within which particular year, and then even the graph is telling you which one is leading. So at the glance of this, you are informed, and this helps you to take decisions to make more money. If you do just buying and selling, it will be difficult for you to even track your progress because you don't have data that is informing you. So always we have to make sure that we are keeping records, or we have our bookkeeping routines in session in order to get data. Once you have data, it helps you to challenge yourself. You look at your performance over a period and you know where you fell short and then where you need to improve. Now, bookkeeping is very difficult. So there are certain routines you have to stick to in order to be committed. As I said earlier on, bookkeeping can be very overwhelming. Therefore, you need a high level of discipline. The first thing to note is to separate your personal and business expenses. Note that once you have your personal and business expenses mixed up or your accounts mixed up, you find it difficult to track where your money is going. And sometimes you realize that monies that are meant for business operations or your inventory, you can pick them and buy personal stuff for yourself without even recording. But once you are set to do serious business operations, you have to take note of these things. Also, maintain a habit of regular documentation of your transactions. This means that anytime somebody buys from you, you record it. Anytime you buy from your suppliers, you record them. If you buy from someone and you pay half, you record it. If someone buys from you with the same payment routine, you also record it. You have to maintain a habit regular. You have to maintain a habit of regular documentation of your transactions. This means that in your busy schedule as a business owner, find a day or a time or a period within which you want to record your transactions. So if you can do it once a week, that is fine. Twice a week, that is good. At the end of your sales or at the end of your business operations or the end of the working day, if you can record all these transactions, that is fine. If you can do it weekly, it is fine. But please make sure you don't pile your transactions or your bookkeeping routines for more than 2 weeks. That is very dangerous because if you don't take time, your data become messed up and you can't follow anymore. And as we said, we need to see information or we need to see data to take decisions regarding our business. The next thing is to categorize your transactions. So for example, if I'm selling drinks, I have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. This will be my categories. So my main business operation is selling of drinks. My categories will be alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Why do I have to categorize? At the end of the day, if I'm done with my operations and I check what brought in more money, and I realize that the non-alcoholic drinks are giving me more money, it means that I have to focus my investments or my money more in that category, not neglecting the other one. But categorization helps you know what you have as sales drivers. And then on your expense side, it also helps you know what is feeding your expenses or what is eating your money, what you are spending your money on more. The next thing is what document the right information. You are having two channels. Money is going to flow in two channels. It's either coming out of your pocket or your account, or it's coming in as payment from your customers. So make sure that transactions that are for sales, you put them under sales. Transactions that are for expenses, you put them under expenses so that you don't get confused. especially those of us who write on paper. Sometimes we pick a book, we write sales, we mix them up with expenses. And when we are ready to do our calculations, we get confused by our own handwritings. It is not your fault, but from now on, we know what to do. Also, make sure you organize and store your data in the right way. So, for example, if you have your documents, you're writing in a notebook, you are using a phone, you are using a laptop or a computer, make sure that these items are always kept in a safe place and out of reach to prevent any damage. Now that we've done some basics, let us switch from the manual to digital bookkeeping. When you're doing manual bookkeeping, this is hard work because if you look on the screen, you are combining these three things: a calculator, a receipts book, and then a sales book. And you can't do away in our traditional mode of business, you can't do away this with any of these three things. And you can't tell me you are going to carry these things along with you almost all the time. It becomes very difficult. That is why we also have to make the effort to switch towards the digital aspect of our bookkeeping routines. Imagine you are losing one of these tools. You can't find your receipt book, you can't find your calculator, you can't find your sales book. It becomes difficult to even keep data. So today, my ultimate question is to ask, what type of entrepreneur are you? Now, if you look on my screen, I have two business owners. In screen A, in picture A, you can find someone, or let's say the business owner using the digital means or a mobile phone to keep records. And if you look at picture B, you can see the businesswoman or the business owner having stacks of receipts and sorting. If these two people are given the same task, who is going to finish first ahead of the other? Your guess is as good as mine. Obviously, the one using the mobile phone or the soft means is going to, or the digital means is going to finish earlier. All that I am saying is that we shouldn't spend much time doing manual work. Let's switch to the digital means so that we save time for other things. For example, if you spend 3 hours on bookkeeping, manual bookkeeping, what time are you going to use for research? Note that you are not the only one in your business, in your sector of business. You have competitors. So if you dedicate all your time for bookkeeping and you don't do much research to know what is trending, it will be difficult for you to, stay in line with your competitors or even be ahead of them. So let's use the digital means to stay ahead of the pack or be in line. Now, one digital tool I'd like to introduce to you is the OZE Business app. If you go to the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, you just type OZE and then you see this beautiful logo there and then you download. The app is going to give you summarized data. You'll be able to perform a whole lot of functions. There's also a session that helps you to use the OZE app from end to end for your digital bookkeeping. So after getting your tool for bookkeeping, what actions must you take? And all these actions are live in the OZE app that you can do. So the first thing is to record your sales and expenses. This is the primary part of your business. Anytime you receive money from your customers, you document it. Anytime you buy from your suppliers, you document it. Share receipts and invoices. This is very, very important because this is the evidence that you made a sale or you bought from a supplier. You understand? So you have to share receipts. So anytime somebody buys from you, they don't pay, or you have to send them an invoice, make sure that they know how much they've bought from you, how much they've paid, and then how much they are left to pay. You can also remind customers to make payments. So people who buy and then make partial payments. They pay parts, they don't pay all. You have to endeavor to record this down and then make sure that once it's recorded, you are following up as and when is expected of you. Because debt recovery is one of the most difficult thing when it comes to, business routines. Because somebody might pay for your service, but they might not make full payment. They pay half, and now it becomes a dispute on how much they took and then how much they've paid so far. If you don't document in a smart way, it becomes very difficult. If you don't take time, this can even strain the relationship you have with your customers. You also have to pay your debts. Note the suppliers you are owing and pay them. This helps you keep a healthy cash flow. And then always make sure that you have your entries displayed in a summarized data. So if I pick my tool or your software tool, or if you pick your notebook today, can you tell the amount of money you have in your cash balance? Because a lot of the decision you are going to make depends on the power or the cash you have as your balance. So if you check your account and you have enough money, you know that, okay, this month I'll be able to pay rent, I'll be able to pay salaries. However, if you're not keeping any records, you just be spending, and by the time you realize your account is zero, which is very dangerous for a business. So if you're in a serious business, you want to grow, um, you also have to assess your reports to know your business performance. So how did I perform at the end of the day? How did I perform at the end of the week? How did I perform at the end of the month? This is very important to note. So once you have something documented in a smart model or in a smart device, like the OZE app, it gives you what information on how your business is doing. Where you keep inventory, you also you must also monitor your inventory flow. How much items, how many items do I have on the shelves? How many of them have I sold? With the item that you sold, how much money have you received? The ones on the shelf, what is the cost? Are they moving fast? If they are not, then it means that you have to also check what you have in stock and see if you're having you want to run a promo, or you want to reach out to customers who bought in the past to see if they would buy. So once all these information is kept in a space or in a device or in an app or in a digital tool, it helps you run your business smoothly, because any action you take is not just on impulse, but based on data. Next, we are going to look at unlocking financial access with bookkeeping data. Now, small and medium enterprises have several options to access funding for their business. However, it's essential to know that if you are not on top of your sales flow or your expense flow or your cash flow, it becomes very difficult for you to even know what you need. And so this is the impact that blocks a lot of SMEs from getting funding, because you don't have data to show the progress of your business. So one, make sure you're recording, which we've spoken about already. And if you are doing digital bookkeeping, then it means that you have access to what export reports from your OZE app. And so this same data, it helps you to what unlock financial assistance. So before you even go in for the money or decide to go in for the money, first identify your funding needs. Know what you are going to use the money for. Because if you feel you want to get access to loans and you go for an amount of money that is bigger than what you need, you realize that you find yourself in trouble because one, you are just going to use the money anyhow and then later pay interest rates that you didn't even plan to pay for. Secondly, if you're going for a loan, show some commitments. Just prove to your lender that you've also made commitments. You have money sitting in your account or you've made certain investments towards your business. Once you do this and you get the money, there's also another step of becoming credit worthy. This means that once you take the money, you'd have to pay back in time. So if you're given 6 months to pay, make sure that at the end of the sixth month, you've paid your loan. And this helps you to unlock subsequent loans in case you are willing to, apply for a loan again to scale your business. So let's keep records. Let's document and make sure that we have bank accounts dedicated to our businesses. So you can reach out to Additional Savings and Loans to open an account for you. And whilst you are using the OZE app to record, it will be easier to get a loan from Additional Savings and Loans. So it is simple. Identify or know what you are going to use your money for and make sure that you've made certain commitments towards this. Once you get your money, repay. Once you repay, you unlock other funds that will be even bigger than what you took primarily. So in conclusion, all I have to say is that bookkeeping could be a daunting task for every business owner, especially where you are the same person, carrying out all the operations. You are the finance person, you are the HR. It becomes very, very difficult. However, let's take advantage of smart tools, okay, to automate the bookkeeping routines or the operations of our business. And this will help you um, keep a strict cash flow. You keep your eye on your cash balance, and then you're always informed that this is how my business is performing at every period. So let's take advantage of the OZE app, which is here to help. Thank you very much. And I am very grateful for your time. So if you have any question, you can drop them in the comments. The last part is you can go through the video again or you can watch the video again. After that, you take a short quiz and then you claim your certificate. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an exciting time being with you. Wishing you all the best in your business endeavors. Thank you. Bye bye.